Public Safety Building Committee meeting called to order on Tuesday, September 16th at 6:02 PM. We're gonna get, you really don't have general updates for us, but do you want to start by going over the sheet, Nate?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
There you go. You are now informed.
so
Thank you.
it is finally time for us to start talking about what the actual working part of this and seeking funding is going to look like. After speaking with Carrie, I took a brief moment in time to create this incredibly rough draft. I would like to review it just so that we are all on the same page and make changes, just so that we can create a draft version of what our plan is, so that we...
Excuse me.
Mike needs you.
Yeah.
Copies.
No,
Sorry.
Oh, these are just the plans and the agenda.
Oh, yeah, I
Nate had all the
didn't
rest
have
of the
that extra
stuff.
one for you.
Did Bob get one? Yes. Okay. Extra.
Because as much as we did well last year, when you know better, you can do better. So I do not intend to burn us all out and have 4 or 5 meetings a week, because we don't need to. If we spread this out, we can do the full educational campaign and really only need to hit them hard for like a week at the end. And with that, Carrie, if you want to run through this, I would like you to, as the chair, be the person who decides what is draft and what needs changing. I can create a final version of this post-meeting and bring it to our next meeting. I set it up so that it ran from the Taste of Hubbardston event on October 2nd through the town election that we would need next year.
Which is when our vote would be. Well, we're hoping
Which is
when our
the
vote.
planned
Yes.
time in which, but
Okay.
long story short, the draft outlines the principles, the October 25 kickoff and website launch, which I am looking for someone to work with on the final version of the website to act as sort of a liaison for the Public Safety Building Committee. Because again, when you know better, you do better, and I don't want to do what we did last year, where we had to change and revise things 100 times again. So if there was somebody, I know you had mentioned that Mike would be a good candidate for that type of role, and I would be developing the...
Well, it only makes sense. We all came with some strengths we all had, right?
Yep.
So that only makes sense, as long as you have the time to be able to do that, Mike. I know you're working again.
Need, can you explain
I
that a
was
little bit?
going to, basically what I was hoping you would be
The sounding
is
board?
a sounding board and intermediary between, hey, this is what I did, and the Public Safety Building Committee sending me back to write more.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, I just want it to be understood that if it makes it by Mike, the changes are minimal. Like when we, like the thing that makes it by Mike into the group, whether it's a website, a document, I don't want to have to do things over and over again like we once did.
No, absolutely. I mean, when I talked to Nate yesterday, I just said we all really liked the way Ashby did their
Yeah.
website and the way they gave their information to the town. And I think we
Mhm.
should mirror a good portion of
So,
that,
yeah.
because it was very easy
One-
to read and look at and get questions and answers done.
Sure.
1 year ago, when I was learning how to code, I only knew how to code in lime green and black. So the websites will be
Would
better.
reflected.
Like, and so, yeah,
Sure.
you know.
So Mike, you're gonna work with Nate on that.
Yes.
And kick off
You'll do a great job. I have full faith in you.
Taste of Hubbardston event. We are hoping that the Public Safety Building Committee will act as tour guides and information people. The event is on October 2nd. It is being managed on the town side by Patricia. But me, Katie, and Leanne, and the Public Safety Building Committee are all involved because this event is essentially going to be a community grand opening of this building where we have the Taste of Hubbardston, a boards and committees fair. I'm going to be showing off and doing Hub Connect demonstrations, as will Leanne. And on the other side, there's going to be a band. There's going to be hay bales. There's going to
Say
be...
alpacas would be here.
I think there's going to be
and-
alpacas. There's going to be a difficult parking situation for the chiefs to deal with.
I won't be here, so
Where are you going?
I'm not going anywhere. I'm busy
Just
that
not gonna
night.
be here.
So I will not be here, but the officers on duty will be happy to help you with whatever you need.
I met with Tricia yesterday. She is going to give us a fact sheet and FAQ sheets that
Mhm.
she would like us to work off of. But she said if we had anything to add, please, I would get that to her before she does her FAQs. So I don't know really what those FAQs are at this point. She's still kind of rendering those down, but is there anything that we feel is important? Because I said I don't want any of us going off script, so we're contradicting each other on
Right.
anything. So she said, no, absolutely, they would put together really what,
Okay. I think what would be interesting to do is to tape off the area of fact, rough estimate, obviously, of where the changes will be that we're looking for to get passed. So that people can go, oh, you're gonna add in this much space, that sort of thing. I think that might be a worthwhile.
Yeah. And this whole there's going to be renderings of the picture of
Yep.
it. Drawer will be here. We're talking about having him be in this room so that people can be moving around. And if you come in here, you talk to Drawer about building, and then you go into the meeting room, and I'm there doing magic tricks. And Leanne is in the other office showing something else on one of these iPads.
Right.
they plan to station us in certain areas, so Tricia will have us marked for certain areas to be part
You guys will be
of.
in certain areas so that people feel like they are free to walk where they want to walk, but no one is getting lost or hanging out in the closet, which is fine.
And I'll mention to Tricia about roping off that area. I don't know right
Sure.
now if she's even gonna
It's
have
just
the
a
time to do that. No, that's
just
a
a
good way to
suggestion.
do it, yeah.
I think it might be worthwhile.
If we have any kind of stanchions or something, it'd be pretty easy to do. And I will volunteer to be a guy outside. I don't mind being out in the weather and
Because
whatnot.
the Taste of Hubbardston is going to be under the breezeway. The boarding committee is going to be also under the breezeway, so there will be food and music and fun. There's going to be headshots because we're going to use this time period to get as many photos for our IDs as we can. It's going to be a nice night. We'll do if the sign is up by then, which we're currently working under the belief that it will be, we'll do like a little, put a tarp up and pull it down and yay! And so,
Nice touch.
Tricia's been in touch with Monty Tech. She's gonna be in touch with Quabbin to come and help trim the grounds up, make sure there's no grass coming through. They've ordered a bunch of stuff or getting stuff from Red Apple Farm and a few other places to decorate. She did ask that we be here at 4 o'clock on October 2nd, for those who can be here at 4 o'clock. Just to help out, kind of put things in order.
Get familiar with our FAQ sheet.
Well, hopefully I'll have those be ahead of time and then I can send them off to everybody. So, I just don't want her to have to do it twice. So if we if there's anything specific we want to, you know, if someone asks us this question, how are we gonna answer it, then we should probably have that ready tonight. So, I know that's kind of like a very broad, but,
The answer to most questions on October 2nd is going to be, we are celebrating what we have done and showing you what we have for plans for the future. The plans are not anywhere near finalized, but we wanted to utilize this as a kickoff and just kind of line in the sand to start talking about that project. And it's going to be very, very infuriating when we make it through a whole year and then someone goes, you never told me about this. So we just look forward to that.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I would limit taking questions that, you know, are in the future,
Yeah.
because we don't know what it's gonna look like until
We're gonna have.
we have some fun,
a
have an idea,
mock-up, but,
right?
Like, but the mock-up's not final. Even after that, I would like to, even if we get nothing, put it out publicly. Like, we're gonna filter what we get back from the public. Not everything's gonna go to Dror and Derek. Like,
Right,
if
right.
someone comes in and says, I don't like police all that much, they should stay where they are, that's not gonna go.
Right.
Gonna go forward. But if someone has a legitimate idea or concern or thought, those are more than welcome. And I want to seek that, maybe right around that, well, whenever Dror and Derek tell us that we can. We just have to get, the police department ended up being a little more footage than originally thought of. But we're, and we being Dror, I haven't had an update in a little while, are working through that. The next update from them should be a substantial one, because we've put a lot of effort into working with them to ensure that what we were putting out was a document that meets the needs of the town of Hubbardston, and not necessarily a cut and paste America's finest public safety building. So, because that's
Yeah, those
with
two, not that.
no harm meant and no any sort of bad comment. He did what he knew how to do, and he took specs off of national websites and national engineering magazines and threw it at us. Like, so we now have had to work with him to say, hey, you know, that's really good in the book, but in reality, this is where we're coming, and that's taking some time, but we're getting through it.
Yeah, since he met with us, I think he has a far better idea of what we need.
And at the end
Okay.
of the plan is someone
He was,
saying, you never told me.
I don't want to say he was missing the mark with the plans for like the police department, but it was just not, it wasn't gonna work. Like
Okay.
and like he's like, yeah, I knew you were gonna tear it up, so, but then he like, I walked him through what we have now, and I'm like, this is what we have now, and this is what we actually need. So he has a far better understanding. I mean, he was like, well, the square footage you guys have there is not going to work. We have to add to it, so that's what he's working on.
Is that part of what's up here right now? That extra square footage? Okay, and this is where the encroachments are, or
So
potential?
the extra square footage is not going to be land, like, not gonna be square footage.
Okay.
It's going to be, like, we need less town office space than we have, and slightly more police and fire. So the police is going to kinda do one of them, and the fire will be up here and part of upstairs. The police will have part of upstairs, but, so it's gonna stay within the parameters of the building, but it may not be as cut and paste what the building is today as we had originally thought, just because of public safety needs versus square footage.
Okay.
Using history as our guide, I don't think we're gonna run into too many issues with the boards that will need to approve this, so. We brought the administrative services coordinator into this so that she could coordinate our administrative services through this process.
Yep.
any questions, like,
On
any
October
ideas, what we
2nd?
should do for the next year, outside of the very bland draft?
Madam Chair, I want to echo what Nate said, and maybe say it a little more succinctly, but to focus on what's been done in the year, the successes, and some of the obstacles that they've overcome. I'll mention plumbing, being one thing. I don't think we need to focus on any failures. Those are, I know not everything went right, but so many things went, not everything went right, but so many things did, and under a very tight schedule. So focus on schedule, successes, and then I would suggest there's going to be questions we didn't anticipate to the point of staying on script. Is there a way we can just take questions, have one of the stops being, hey, you have
I'll put QR
questions or
codes all
something?
over the place so that people can scan them and
Okay, good.
then we'll be able to centralize all of the questions and I'm in my QR code era, like,
Okay,
so just get ready for it.
yeah, just so long as we can get that feedback easily and get it to the right person.
So are you saying they would scan the QR code, then they could ask a question there, and
Or
then
put
we can
out-
put it on our, yes, so we're just kind of,
Get a process in place
Yeah.
for it.
yeah.
Will we, the building that's here, have a model from the architects that can be put in a place that the public can always see
A
it? when they come
printed
in?
model, yes. A model, no.
Oh,
Like-
Not 3D.
Like not a
Is that
3D
the
model.
question?
Like
no,
there
I was
there
asking
will be-
specifically about a 3D
There will
model.
be a photo, and Dror will have his cool software that allows you to be 3D
Oh, virtual type
in
thing.
on this TV.
Might be interesting to see if, be kind of last minute, but check with the Monty Tech folks to see if they could use some of their 3D printing capabilities to
So
whip up a model based on.
We are currently, it's way too late for that.
Okay.
That would take the next 4 months to pull together a 3D printed model of this building.
I don't mean like plastic 3D printed, I mean cutting out foam pieces.
Oh, I
and
thought we were
putting
making
them
a dollhouse. and
No,
I
no,
was
no,
like,
no,
it would
no.
take
Just
so long.
cutting out foam pieces and gluing them together.
So we have a waiting list with Monty Tech to move the mailbox and do a couple other small things. So I don't know if I want to put too much on.
You're talking about 2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
So,
never mind.
Oh, I wasn't suggesting that since for October 2nd. I was suggesting it in terms of when I'm looking at the course of the year, something in place.
oh yeah, right.
Any other questions about October 2nd? No?
So I guess I'm gonna ask you guys, because I was flustered about it last night. The current plan is to, like, and I know this isn't public safety building, I just want more say from more people. The original plan was move the sign, move the island. There's wetlands all over the place, there's electric at the sign, it would be a giant pain in the butt to move. At this point, we're gonna put the island, leave it where it is, shrink it, put in a new sign, make it all look nice. Jim Dixon and Travis are gonna do the culvert under it, but I don't want, I'm gonna refer to it as beef after we're done. And so that's why I'm bringing it up right now. Like, I want to have the sign at the Taste of Hubbardston kickoff event because it would be very meaningful to me, because this has been a really long project and I'm never putting a roof on a building in a winter again. So this has been long, and I do want to get it done at this point. Like, Patricia and I are considering the open house, the end of phase 1 for us, because the meeting room will be done, hopefully the sign will be done. But I would just like, if anyone that is on the committee or the select board or Like, just, if anyone within the know has a giant problem with keeping the sign right there, I would appreciate that being mentioned now.
I could not care less where the sign is.
I don't know, how many times has it been hit in the last 30 years?
Like,
Because it's gonna get hit again. It doesn't matter what you do to it. It's gonna get hit again. But I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying I think it's gonna get.
it'll be illuminated.
It used to be.
They'll aim better.
Well,
Yeah. Sometimes lights draw people's attention.
All right, so I'm gonna move forward with that. Like, we've got a handshake deal with Jim Dixon and a sign order already in. So, at this point, it's.
does the sign order include our residents currently?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we will get a matching one that says Hubbardston Police Department, just so that later we can slide it in
Mhm.
and we won't have to get a obviously new printed sign. Mass Corps is making handicapped signs, some signage to point people to the fire department, and a couple other things. The giant hole out front is going to be dealt with while we're dealing with the sign.
Thank you for the cones.
I did that myself. I took a picture. I was going to send it to you.
Yeah. Well, if I didn't see something with it, I have a barrel in the woods somewhere
Yeah.
that I was gonna drag out. But thank you, Nate.
Are we gonna install a couple of bollards in front of the sign?
That is not currently on the docket, but I'm not opposed.
Just, it would be
Because-
for those people that are
Protect
really
it.
attracted to trying to hit signs,
Like, the sign
really
is
end their day.
The sign is what
It'd
it
be a good
is.
idea.
I'm not necessarily hesitant
That's
about
the
the
point.
sign. I'm
Right.
hesitant about keeping the island in the middle of the road. And
Yeah, I would say shrink the
You're gonna
island.
shrink that down anyway.
Put a couple
It's
of
not gonna-
bollards, two bollards on either
Did you
side.
talk to Jim about what his actual intent or idea was? No.
I'm trying to understand what the issue is that people hit it. Just,
It exists.
People,
okay, really,
If there's something in
to me,
the-
I feel like if the island's not there, they're gonna hit cars. They're gonna hit each other because someone's
there's a lot
gonna
of things
whiz
that
in there and
distract
then.
Nice and wide.
people when they're driving nowadays.
Do you think there is?
Yeah.
Oh.
We finally figured out what's going on with the toilets. They are back to back, and if one is used more than the other, it pushes on the other side and floods that one. So we've installed something called power toilets. They're not as fun as they sound, and they're not metal, but they are doing the job in pushing the
Taking
Waste.
care of business.
just taking care of business.
Good.
Not to beat
That's okay, go Mike, go ahead.
a dead horse, but there were some comments after regarding the island when Nate said, "Speak now," and I'll just say that I'm not a fan of islands, and especially in this night-wide situation where vehicles should be able to make their turns and whatnot. I believe that it aggravates snow removal, as do bollards and whatnot. It's just another thing
Sure.
that our public works folks, when they're in the middle of the night, tired as hell, it's a challenge. However, I do support, I'm indifferent, it can be done, and I don't think that it's worth, if the consensus is to put in an island, I'm good with an island. They will work, they're just more costly.
I think it's gonna be more expensive in the long run to move it
Yeah.
than to make it nice where it is.
Because that was the thing. Travis started talking about how we were going to need to do the culvert under that no matter what. How the lights were going to be in addition to add-on. How all of that is technically
Wetlands.
wetlands. It's just, they're we're going to be able to move the sign. If down the road we end up doing it, and who knows?
Right.
If we had known about this a long time ago, no fault, it's just you can't anticipate everything. But you know, put up a temporary sign with legs that don't need concrete being poured and whatnot, and you just take care of all that at the end of the project when you're ready to pave, and all the disruption and all the other utility work is done, and then you put in your sign last. Make the sign permanent. I don't know if we have the capability of just putting legs on it now. I mean, you just put a couple of, 6x6s and extend them out, put them on the grass. The only downside of that is you got to weed whack around that,
Yep.
but
We're really good at weed whacking around the current one, so I can only imagine that we're going to be even better at weed whacking around the new one.
I do think it ties.
no, I mean a temporary one.
I think it ties in the end of the phase one thing, so,
Yeah. The meeting room, the AV equipment was finalized today. The furniture is there, but in a state of currently being put together.
Cable.
I can show you. Cable is giving us the runaround as anticipated. We will be able to have your next select board meeting down there as long as all of the AV equipment comes in. It'll just be very similar to what we're doing now, except for it'll be recorded with the software and equipment in the room. We're still going to have to upload it, and at some point, Spectrum is going to decide it is appropriate to have a conversation with us because we want to be a customer of theirs, and they'll call us back. But we've been contacting them every day.
I had a lot of fun with them the other day, so I feel your pain.
Yep.
So for the second, you're gonna have people stationed up here, and for accessibility, is the lift gonna be used?
Only if we want a massive, massive fine. Like $30 a day going back all the way to 1992.
so no.
Like I didn't like that the DPW used it to get something up here. Like, we can't use that. It's not certified, it's not cleared, it's not
Oh,
safe.
no,
It's,
okay,
like-
that's
like-
fine. The
like-
question was, how are we gonna address ADA for the open house?
They're either going to have to stay on the first floor,
Okay.
or I will carry them up the stairs.
Okay, that was the question.
They'll be staying on the first floor.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah.
I've been training.
Well, when President Reagan first pushed for ADA back in the early 90s, we did carry people up and down in their wheelchair, and I had to have designated people in the event of a fire that would stay with the person and get them out of the building. So, one, I have some experience with it, and two, I treat it very seriously. The question was not meant to try to stump anyone, it was to make sure we thought of that. And the easiest way is, nobody comes up here that can't physically get
It's the
themselves
safest
out.
way.
Yep, thank you.
It's something we'll need to think about down the road, and we'll have to involve Mel, and I'm sure Seth and the chiefs will be good at this conversation. It's when do we want to have the town meeting in the line with the election? Because there are different communities that'll tell you different ways. Because technically, if you do the town meeting after the election, you're done. Like, if it passes the election, you're fairly certain it's going to pass a town meeting. If you do it the other way, there's a little more uncertainty. It's not a choice we have to make right now, or even anytime soon, but it's something we should be
Alright.
thinking about.
Are you anticipating anything else coming up during that time period that's financial in nature?
People keep giving us buildings.
Okay,
So
okay.
I'm really
Okay.
uncertain.
Okay.
Like,
I think that's gonna be a factor too, depending on what else is coming up.
You gotta look at what other communities' success has been. I know Auburn and Northborough just did 2 large-scale public safety, fire department buildings. They went to town meeting first, and then like 2 days later, it was the ballot.
Okay.
It was that close.
Okay,
The question is, do we have it at the annual town meeting and then wait the 2 months? That may be too long. That will be,
8 months, that's 6 months.
no, if we
From
have June to
July,
November.
August, September, October, November, that's 5 months. From June to November?
Oh, yeah, you couldn't, because you have to do it within 90 days.
Right.
At the maximum, so.
Right.
So,
And ATM's like June 2nd,
Right.
too. It's at the very, very beginning of June.
so Nate, what were you proposing?
I am not
Which order?
I am not proposing anything at this
No,
time.
the order?
No order
Okay,
being proposed
thank
at
you.
this time. I'm just putting in your head that that is something that we are going to have to discuss.
Think about, okay.
We have a lot of
Thank you.
ADA projects to do in the next few years.
And everyone on Facebook is an ADA expert,
Yeah,
so
so
it's
they
pretty cool.
went to the Internet School of ADA.
Mhm.
I mean, we have the library, we have here, we have First Meeting House.
We have an ADA plan, if anyone would like to read it. Available on the internet.
All right, can we'll move on?
Yeah.
Let's move on. November 25th to March 26th, monthly forums. This is essentially, now we're moving into our phase 2. Yes, Nate? We're moving into our phase 2 at this point, right?
For the most part. There's a weird phase like 1A.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
While we're finishing with Jor and Rubinoff and being done with the beginning. So I'd say the kickoff ends phase 1 officially, but until we're done with Derek, we're still doing phase 1 stuff.
Okay. Is there an anticipated timeline from him?
I haven't been pushing them
Okay,
because we
right,
have nothing
right.
but time and a limited amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just hoping that we could do it as it came. There's no real reason to push them to hurry up.
Okay.
They're aware what our time frame is looking like and is beginning
Okay.
to.
All right, let's see. November project.
It's not going way fast, but it is going.
Yep.
So.
Project history, NY 48 Gardner Road. Is this something we need to go over again? If we're gonna put it on the website?
I think it's one of the most important
Okay.
conversations to have. But just know that my feelings aren't hurt if we scratch this up and like if this is what
I'm opening it up to the committee, so if we feel
and people can think about it.
we wanna sit and address it, I think if we're gonna shoot for November of next year, we definitely should have monthly meetings, just to at least be able to touch base and see how the project's going, at the very least.
And I'd like us to record all of our meetings so that when we get to the end, we can offer it as a library or catalog
Okay.
versus just, hey, good luck to you.
Mm-hmm.
December, current conditions at fire and police. I mean,
What is that? What are
yeah,
we looking at
and
for
what-
that? What are we looking at trying to do there?
We're just rehashing the need.
Okay.
People move away, people come to town, the new people have a lot of catching up to do.
And a
We
lot
have a
of,
lot going on in town, so. It's good for us, good refresher. Also,
Mm-hmm.
so we can see what we said.
January, draft layouts and space needs. Is this,
and we're gonna break all these down
From-
into bigger, like,
I
this is the 10,000 foot view.
and we're drafting layouts for, because isn't
Yeah, what is
that
draft layouts
what?
mean?
The plans. Like, that'll be one of our first major meetings of, hey, this is close to the final plan that we're gonna be presenting.
So that answers my question. You're hoping sometime in January, we will be very close to a final plan.
If not, I have some strong opinions about that.
I have a thought on the schedule. December's, you got end of November, Thanksgiving, then you got everything happening in
Mhm.
December. Maybe have a month off, so to speak.
We can pause
schedule.
from the,
Just slip it a month,
yeah.
just
I mean, I don't think current conditions at fire and police have changed that much
drastically.
since the videos that were produced and all the other stuff. It could.
They haven't gotten better.
Well,
Right.
there's
I was gonna say, I
also,
don't wanna go through that again. That video is there documenting it.
Yeah, I
so
think,
using that video somehow, probably in shorter
Yeah.
segments, like a reels type of thing,
Yeah.
and
yeah, I mean, that. so
that's not my wheelhouse, but the material's there. How it's used is up to you
Right.
guys and whoever.
there's no reason we can't combine November and December. Project history, why 48 Gardner Road.
And
We
current
answer those
conditions.
questions in those current conditions
Yeah, I
and
think
everything.
that's a
So I
good
think
idea.
we just
can
combine
also
those two.
kick the whole shebang off after the Taste of Hubbardston on New Year's if we wanted to. Like, I don't think there's going to be anyone that is necessarily being upset with us for starting in November, December, or January, as long as we do everything that we need to do to present the idea to the people that are making the final decisions.
Yeah.
It's
Well-
good to have a schedule.
Yes.
It's good to identify the items. I just think we don't need to jam the schedule.
No, we do not.
What if we, because we're what, if we have a mid-October meeting, like a month from now, a mid-October meeting, that we can go over the two things that were November, December. We'll just put those right in October to give us a fresh start, a fresh look.
Our
And
luck,
then
we're gonna get the
skip.
update tomorrow.
What's that?
Our luck, we're gonna get the update from Laura tomorrow.
Well, that, it can always change.
Yeah.
Skip November, December, come back fresh January with, just because I know it is a lot. People are traveling November, people travel in December, and there's a lot of things going on. So if that works for everybody, that's another way to do it. Just meet in October, go through all these things. They'll probably get some feedback if Nate does those QR codes from people, so we can review those, hopefully.
Would it be worthwhile having a meeting on October 1st where we go through that and prep for a little bit for
That's a good
the next
idea.
day?
That's a good idea.
That way everything is fresh in everyone's mind. You should have the handouts for
Yep, we'll have
FAQs and
everything by that.
everything by that. We just kind of go over it and do a little bit of a dry run
Yep.
for the second and we probably nail a couple of these things. I
If
mean,
that works
the-
for you
The
guys.
first two things are things that have already been written or videotaped. It's really just a matter of collecting those things and presenting them in whatever format we want to present them in.
Which you're talking about the project history?
Yeah, project history, why 48 Gardner Road,
Yeah, okay.
current conditions. Those are things that should already have been written down or are probably sitting in Facebook somewhere. Yeah, I mean, we should have a lot of that. We can just discuss that on the first and do a quick dry run and meet again on the second.
That's gonna be tough for me to do.
Yeah, and he's actively working on this right now because he said, "Hi, are you okay with me fitting all four departments in the second floor together with your suite and keeping the entire first floor of the main building for assembly, conference, break rooms, bathrooms, maintenance, storage, archive, and the police locker rooms?" I said, "The treasurer collector and town clerk need to be on the main floor.
Yeah.
Like anyone else, like I can be on the second floor, land use can be on the second floor, but I'd prefer if they weren't."
Well,
But-
things that the public has to get
Yeah,
to.
Yeah, anything
For the very
customer
reason
facing
we've been
should be on
talking
the
about
first
in
floor.
terms of the ADA, it
Yeah,
should be down.
I didn't mince words there either. I just, that's what I wrote. Okay, do they absolutely have to have windows?
No.
Depends who you ask.
I don't think
That could be the
windows are
rotating office.
essential, but they're certainly nice.
That can be the rotating office. Who's ever on this month's shit list goes into that office.
There's no
I do like conceptually that if they keep a lot of the plumbing type stuff on the first floor, like locker rooms and showers and as much plumbing, because if you have a problem, you're not killing 2 floors with water damage and
Yeah,
whatnot.
that's a
All
good
I said
point.
to that is they're nice, but do what you have to do. meaning windows.
I mean, I've been in city offices and when I say city, not public, but private ones. And you know what? Not everybody has windows. We have the luxury here that we have a smaller building that has a lot of perimeter, outside perimeter that you could have windows. But a lot of people never see the light of day when they go to work.
So with this, I don't think we take the time between now and our meeting in October and review it and think on it and send me any thoughts you have, and I will create a final draft of our year with different documents and such, just so that we start strong.
48 Gardner Road, year in review.
Yep.
Okay, so we're done?
I'm done.
Okay.
Do you guys want to
So
see the meeting room?
are we on for the first?
I gotta check my schedule,
Okay. I'm sorry.
I'm jam-packed lately, it
Oh,
just, everything.
trust me,
I'm like working mornings, afternoons, and then at night, so.
I feel your pain.
I've got multiple houses coming on the market, and it's just crazy right now, so. I'll let everybody know about October 1st.
Okay.
Is everyone feeling like that is a must?
So even if it's not a public safety building committee, I will make myself available that evening to review ahead of the event.
You could always have an informal meeting if she
Right,
couldn't make it.
Right,
I mean, that's probably all that's needed, is
Yeah.
just a review of what's gonna be done the
Just-
next day, and
Just the night
then
before.
we can have a
everything, so you
meeting afterwards,
Yeah.
after we
right.
get all the questions from the second and everything, we can have our meeting
Yeah.
and maybe.
And I don't want everything getting jumbled or muffled, like of what our actual meeting is, the intent is versus our getting ready for October 2nd, so.
Yeah. So
Um,
I'll just have a taste of Hubbardston open house pre-meeting,
Yeah.
and we'll invite everybody and we'll do it. I'll get the information out in the next week. Because this is one of those months where there's 5 Mondays, so there's no select board meeting until after the Taste of Hubbardston. So I'll have a little bit of extra wiggle room the week before.
So you want everyone to look at this now, and we're gonna just send you questions?
Yeah, and I will get a draft website to Mike in the next 7 days.
Okay. Anyone wanna? have
Motion
anything
to
else?
adjourn?
Are we gonna set a formal next meeting? Because it sounded like the first.
Carrie was gonna check your schedule probably, and then we'll go off of that.
Yes, and we can do a formal next meeting after the open house to go over.
I kind of like
This
the idea
information.
of a formal meeting after.
Me too, me too. I mean, I get wanting to make sure we're all on the same page for the first. I just don't know that
People agree
having a
with me
formal
here.
meeting and then sitting here for,
He said, can the assembly room live without windows? I
Yes.
said, no.
I think it
The
could,
assembly room?
The meeting space, like our big meeting space.
it could very easily live without windows, I think.
Think about how adorable it is to stand in the parking lot and be able to see civic life in action.
I don't know if I want
Adorable?
to see it. Yeah,
Adorable
adorable
is
is the
probably
wrong
the word I'd use.
word.
no, but
Yeah.
I don't think when we were looking around, we saw a single meeting room without windows.
I know.
Without a lot
I was
of
just gonna say
windows.
the opposite.
No, when we were in Ashburnham, Westminster, their meeting space in their public safety building all had big
There
windows
was-
and,
Well, that's true.
there
but
was-
they
and
had a
hold-
they were dealing with a new building. We're working with some
What
fixed
space?
spaces. here.
Right.
You know, and that's gonna drive cost, I'll tell you right now. You know, not everybody, I can see someone that's working 10 hours a day having a window, you know, if you can. But a space that's people tell me that, oh yeah, that room, conference room's gonna be used, or meeting, or assembly room, and you set up a schedule for it, and it just sits vacant most of the time.
And when it's
If you-
used, it's for an hour or two at a time.
Yes,
People can deal without a window.
It's
that's,
usually at night.
yeah.
And
in the
there's
dark.
going to be at least two. Like the big meeting room will have a small meeting room partner with all of the stuff from the current room we're building in it.
Windows are higher cost, and they keep, the cost of that for energy keeps going ad infinitum. You know, every time you do a nice-to-have thing in this initial construction, it's gonna keep costing us into the future.
Hey Drawer, I figured I would call you because we were texting back and forth and I'm quite literally with the entire Public Safety Building Committee. So there isn't a better time to ask the questions that you're asking than right now.
Okay. Can everybody hear me?
Everyone can hear you the best that they're going to be able to.
Okay. All right. So I've been struggling a little bit with making sure everybody is on the same level in the main structure now. So the question was, what departments do you guys prefer I split and put them on the top floor, if any? And what I just asked Nathan on the text is, can the assembly room be without windows? So can it be in that back side adjacent to the additional garage that we're adding without any windows? And if so, we can have more windows for more departments in the front, obviously. That's basically the two questions I had for right now.
It's not the end of the world. Like having inadequate windows in the meeting space is not the biggest problem. Like if that's the only place it works, so be it. If we can have windows, it's a nicety. But we have to do what we can do and what we think will work.
So if I absolutely have to choose between a department, doesn't matter for a second which one, and the assembly room for windows, you're saying departments should have it first.
Yes.
Okay, all right, super. And you're saying that the town clerk and the collector needs to be on the first one because they have a lot of
Traffic.
That's our most public facing offices. Like I could be on the second floor, land use could be on the second floor, but I'd prefer if they were on the first floor. Like I still really do want to see kind of like a town hall for all type entrance where you go in and you speak with the people that are there and don't go and walk around the town hall unless you're buzzed in.
Okay.
And that needs to be out front.
So that's, I'm gonna see how I can do both. So not have a reception, but still have the look or the feel of somebody walking in and somebody actually gets to meet him or her as they do. Okay, let me see what I can do about that. But first, okay, so I think I'm gonna switch. I put that, I don't know if you remember the original design that I did for the first floor. We had one kind of big department on the back left side.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna switch the assembly room to that corner and just bring that department towards the front with the windows on.
So if you put the offices that are already downstairs out front, almost everything else could probably go up on the second floor. My office could go up there, the assessor's office could go up there, just the things that aren't
Customer facing.
that aren't front facing can go wherever we need them to go, and we can be called down. Like, or people can come up, or like just, I don't want to create a hindrance for people trying to pay their taxes or do election stuff, because that is already not something they really want to be
Versus
doing.
the ADA issue.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to make it as easy and accessible as possible.
And readable and obvious as you walk in.
Yeah.
Okay, last question since everybody on listen here. Is it, again, that might be blasphemous question, I apologize ahead of time. Is it okay for the break room of the main structure there be used by the police station too?
That is a choice that you will have to talk about, hopefully not during a public meeting with the chief and some of his guys. I am personally not opposed to sharing things like break rooms, but I cannot speak to public safety professionals or how things are done like that in other communities.
Okay, yeah, they have this,
Like
they
it,
probably have a need to.
if I know our team, the answer unofficially is going to be they want their own break rooms.
Okay.
But if it really, really, really came down to it, like, we're gonna do what we have to do.
Okay, I already have like 2 break rooms. One of them is still in the main structure, but it's going to be used by the police. I'm like adding a very comfortable connecting corridor between the police wing and the main structure for them to use that, and also they're going to have the locker rooms there. But it's going to be a major save of space if I can do that. But I see what you're saying. I think I'm going to keep it separated anyway.
Because in reality, if we share the break room, someone's not gonna use the break room. Or it'll end up being split by, like, the police use it at night when they're here and you don't really see them during the day. Like, it would save us a couple of headaches to have our own spaces,
I think
but...
you're right. I think you're right. I'm continuing my thought here, and I don't think it's going to work. After my visit to the existing police station, I think it's going to be a mistake. Okay, I'll just get them separated. It's fine. We're going to have enough space.
There's a question drawer. Are you open for questions?
I am open for questions as of right now.
Madam Chair, Drawer, this is Mike Stahl. In a past life, I had to do space planning, and one of the questions I always asked our architect engineers was, when they ask the questions that you're asking, what is the cost difference and what is the long-term maintenance and energy difference between the different proposals? And I know you don't have the time to put together hard numbers on every little change, but at least I'm going to press for knowing whether or not it's a significant cost difference. As an example, windows in the assembly room that is not used by people 10 hours a day in an office working, whether or not that cost difference is worth it and the long-term cost. So I would be prepared to answer those kind of questions when you propose options for us. Thank you.
Thank you. And yeah, you are right. I'm not really in a position that I can put any numbers right this second. And I'm treating most of the floor plan as of right now, in the schematic phase that we are right now, that it's going to be all fair game. I'm just going to throw something on a piece of paper and have you take a look at it, and then go back to the existing conditions and see what I can, equate and leave and keep, right? Just to save money in the construction phase. Right now, I'm sorry, but I'm not dealing with what this change is going to be costing compared to the other change. If you're asking about energy, if I understood your question correctly, I'm sorry if I didn't. But the energy question, if I have the assembly room with the windows in the front, compared to it being in the back, not hardly used, or maybe used twice, 3 times, 4 times a week, I think it's absolutely clear that if you're not going to be using a space on a regular 8 to 10 hour day work, it's better not to have a window. The window is very good when it comes to energetic usage.
Thank you.
So, what?
Thank you, Drawer. I wasn't looking for numbers, but if you said, hey, this is nicer, but it comes with a significant price tag, or you say, this is better and it's cost neutral. No numbers, just a feel, so we know what the impact of an option is. A significant one.
I think if that's okay with you, I think I would like to resolve putting together the floor plans, the words, and once we have that, maybe even, more than one option, which I try not to do, but if we are going to go with more than one option, once we have one or two options that we like, we can talk about the differences in prices when all the
Trade-offs.
the parameters are being calculated. Right now, I'm really not there yet.
Contractually, we're doing 2 price quotations, correct? Throughout this process?
Sure, if it's in the contract.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
It was discussed.
Yeah.
I know that.
Sure, I can do more than one. That's what I do for a living.
All right, sounds good. Anything else, Dror? I appreciate you taking this call out of the
That's
blue.
it for now. And thank you for the very helpful information.
All right, sir. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
That was convenient.
Good idea that you took advantage of that opportunity.
Anything else?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We're adjourned.